Hungary for game day 11 of the EuroLeague Women regular season as Sopron welcome Girona to their home floor. Unbelievably, there are 5 places between Sopron and Girona, but Sopron have only got 1 more win. That is how close Group B is. Here's a look at the table. Sopron, top of the table at the moment, 7-3. Girona sitting out of the playoff spots in 5th with a 6-4 record, but that could be completely flipped here today. This season's EuroLeague Women regular season has been unbelievable from start to finish. This one is going to go all the way to the wire. Remember, only 4 games left in the regular season, and every team fighting out for one of those treasured playoff berths to get them into the post-season. Nearly second time that these 2 teams have met this year. In Spain on game day 4, that night it was Girona who came away with just a 3-point win. Before Girona was on the back of big performances from Maria Araujo, Mariana Tolo and Rebecca Gardner, all of them posting double-digit points. I think they're going to have to do a similar effort here tonight if they want the win. That was one of just 3 losses for Sopron so far this season. Other losses were against Avenida, and then an absolute unbelievable game. If you have a chance, jump onto the game tape of their Sopron's game against DVTK last week, the Hungarian derby game in EuroLeague Women, and it was a 3-point loss against DVTK. That one definitely a shock to say the least. How will Sopron bounce back today here on their home floor? Women anthem rings out around the arena. The fans are making their way into their seats, and we will have our player introductions. Girona, as the road team, will be introduced first to the crowd, and haven't been the most consistent team this season. But the one thing you would say is, on their day, Girona can run with the best in Europe. There is no 2 ways about that. They have the talent, they have the experience to really fight against some of the best teams in Europe. They'll also be riding high after the 12-point win last week against Mechelen. They'll know Sopron today will be a very, very different team than the one they faced earlier in the season. A little bit of a wounded animal coming off the back of that shock defeat last week. Girona players are introduced. Girona as a team, a very specific philosophy on how to play the game. They're going to look to slow this one down. They're going to try and limit Sopron. They're going to have the best defense in EuroLeague Women this season. They concede a little over 61 points a game. However, the issue for the Spanish team has been on the other end of the floor. Offensively, the second worst offense. They score a little under 65 points a game themselves. So if Sopron can make this a high-scoring game, Girona may struggle to stay in the contest. Now with the arena MC and the fans, the home team are being introduced. Into today's game, would have entered today's game if it wasn't for that loss last week on a very impressive win streak. They lost last week after 4 games winning in a row. However, it's likely that that loss last week will have refocused their minds, and they'll hit the floor tonight with a point to prove, to say the least. Sopron as well build their game on defense. In fact, it's only Girona that have a better defense than them this season. However, for Sopron, where they differ from Girona, they also have some real offensive firepower in their roster. They're averaging a little under 70 points per game scored this season. So for Coach Gaspar, he'll want to try and seal this one early if he can. But that is going to be easier said than done against what is a very tough Girona team. Players just waiting for the arena lights to come back on, so they can enter the final phase of their warm-ups. A little over 5 minutes until we get this game underway. The players handshaking or high-fiving at the mid-court. They'll go back into the final preparations as they build towards what is a big game. Remember, including tonight's game, just 4 games left in the regular season. And if you look particularly here at Group B, things are very, very bunched up, to say the least. Realistically, you're looking at 6 teams currently fighting it out for 4 spots, and there's only 2 games between them. That's how close Group B has been, and Group A isn't really that much different. Slightly clearer, but not completely. Usually at this time of the season, teams are trying to fight for home court advantage and seeding as they get into the playoffs. None of that this year. Every team is fighting for survival. Every team is fighting just to have the right to play in the postseason. Girona know they have the talent. As we look at Laia Flores, it's going to work. She's averaging just over 4 points, 4 rebounds and 3 assists a game. Comes off the back of a good game last week though, had 14 in that. Sorry, 13. Here are our officials for tonight's game. Nemanja Ninkovic, Jelena Tomic and Zuzana Vujacic from Serbia, Croatia and Montenegro respectively. It's good to see that caliber of official taking big games like we have here today. The team's now really trying to lock in on the game. Certainly some interesting moves as well. We're going to have a look at the starting fives for both teams now. Starting five for Girona: Dramer, Araujo, Flores, Tolo and Sykes. Coming off the bench for them as well. Look out for, in particular, Rebecca Gardner. She is an absolute offensive firecracker when she gets going. Coach Canute will look to her to certainly bring some scoring today, whether she's starting or not. The five here for Sopron: Kunek, McGregor, Brooks, Turner and Burundi. So coming off the bench, Vanecki, Stankovic will be the two that Coach Gaspar will look to bring some energy in that second string, that second wave that he'll look to bring on the floor. Interesting to see Sopron this week not fielding their latest acquisition. Olivier Ipupa was released by Fenerbahce earlier, instantly signed by Sopron. She's not going to feature tonight though. As we look at Coach Canute on the Spanish team's bench, he's ready to go, as his counterpart at the other end of the floor, Coach David Gaspar. Two young coaches really impressing in this season's EuroLeague women as they look to try and get to the Final Fours. Sopron clearly coming off a high of last year. Girona falling out at the quarter-final stage. They'd love to go further. Both these teams will know what it takes to get to that level as well. Remember, 4 games left in this regular season, and interestingly enough, no matter what the results are here this week, no team will secure their playoff berth here in Group B. We'll have to wait at least another week before they can get that done. Just moments away from the opening tip now here in Sopron. Just a reminder, please do get your phones out now. Download the official EuroLeague Women app, available on Android and iOS. Completely free of charge, and is a indispensable guide to the competition. Stats, reviews, interviews, videos, box scores, you name it. The app has it. Definitely worth having it in your hand and following along the box score as the game progresses. Two other games already underway today. At the half in Istanbul, it's Fenerbahce 46, Virtus Bologna 32. Fenerbahce continue to look incredibly impressive. Just under 7 minutes left in the second quarter in Olympiakos. In their game against Zegzard, they lead that one 26-18. Starting fives on the floor, ready to go, and you get that wonderful little crackle and buzz in the atmosphere in the arena as the teams get ready. The fans are going to play their part here today, that's for sure. And we're underway here in Hungary. Game day 11 of the EuroLeague Women regular season. Group B, as Sopron take on Girona. Little fade away from McBegor is no good. And Girona will slow the game down. Expect them to look to do that for a lot of today's game. All about fundamentally sound basketball. All builds from tough defense. Shot goes up. Too heavy, though, for Sykes. Nice outlet pass, but the miss from Kunek on her first attempt. The Aussie at times has looked really, really strong, particularly offensively. Stolen away. Ezi McBegor out of the races. She'll get the easy score. And again, both these teams look to build their offense from defense. Prime example there from McBegor. She gets the scoring underway. Crowd now into the game, into the low post. Sykes moves it. Araujo comes up short. Rebound. Pulled in by Turner. What a crossover. Drives inside, loses her footing. She thought she was fouled. Officials saying they disagree. Let's have a look. Looking for the foul call on Tolo. Nothing from the officials, though. Flores now. Sopron's defense, as always, really does harass the ball. The on-ball pressure is always so strong. Pass inside. That one's come off Sopron hand, so it will remain Girona ball. Baseline ball for Laia Flores to inbound. 4.1 left on the shot clock. Dramer uses the pivot. Shot clock would have expired, though. Instead, she throws it away to Brooks. Oh, nice pick and roll. Brooks down low. Goes to the reverse layup. Oh, and doesn't get the drop. That one looked like it had gone down and comes back up again. Tolo in the low post. Brooks helps down in the double. Foul's going to be called, though. Ended up being a triple team on Mariana Tolo. Clearly they see that as a threat. As we see a replay of the play the other end of the floor. And look, that one almost looked like it dropped and then just popped back out again. Ball knocked out of bounds by Kunek. So it will remain Girona ball on the sidelines now. And no real surprise. Over 2 minutes gone in the game and there's only 2 points on the board. Both of these teams play such relentless defense. Tolo against McBegor. Goes inside. Reverse layup is good. McBegor just a little bit over-committing to the physicality on that one. That's what created the space for Tolo just to drive to the basket. Brooks now inside to McBegor. She misses the layup. Sopron getting some very high percentage chances early on, but not creating. Travelling violation is going to be called on Maria Araujo. Yeah, just picking the foot up. Sideline ball for Sopron as Coach Canute looks to communicate something to his team. Clearly wants to change something up early on. Brooks now tries to use a McBegor screen. Oh, look at that little shot fake. Just bringing that weak hand to the ball was enough to draw the defense in and create the space she needed. That's a veteran play by Jelena Brooks. Oh, and the jumper is good. The long two. Flores showing she's got range. She's only averaging 4 points a game. Burundi to Brooks for three. Oh, very strong start for Jelena Brooks. But the 33-year-old continues to impress year after year, averaging 17 points and just about 5 rebounds a game. Sopron retaking the lead with that Brooks jumper. Sykes is going to pick up the foul though. Turner called for that one. Remember, Sykes started the season at Sopron, that's why she's hearing it from the crowd. Steps in, gets the 2. Little short-range, soft jumper from Brittany Sykes. Burundi now. McBeggar. Ken does some tough work. Dramer's going to get called for the foul as she just shoves Kunek out the way, and that's not a smart play by Binta Dramer. They'd already got the rebound locked in, and she's given possession straight back to Sopron with that one. Game tied at 7 apiece. Brooks. Throw it back out to Turner. Shot clock down to 7 though. Turner behind the back. Kunek nails it. That's a big 3-ball for Kunek. When she finds her range from downtown, she is one of the best shooters in EuroLeague women. Araujo muscling away into the paint, kicks it to the corner, wide open. That one's short. McBeggar bats it back to Turner. Turner puts the Jets on. Oh, what a pass. Oh, shoelaces, though. Tough to pick that one up from that low down. Sykes goes coast to coast. Puts a lesson on. Brittany Sykes with 4 early points. Halfway through the first quarter, Sopron with a single-point lead. A little bit more high scoring than we expected, a little bit more free-flowing. Expected a real defensive battle. Burundi's going to have to throw it up. Shot clock's expiring. Instead, she'll drop it out of bounds. It'll be baseline ball for Girona. Into the game comes Shea Murphy. Veteran big. Just knows how to win stuff. She won the EuroLeague Women's Championship back in 2012 with Valencia. Also has won the WNBA in 2014 with Phoenix. As we see Burundi head to the bench and Fegvanecki come back onto the floor. 2 veterans getting their first taste of the action tonight. Oh, lovely little step through from Araujo, and she gets the roll. Girona take the lead with that one. Strong movement to start, and then just control with the footwork to find the space she needed. Into the corner, Kunek for another 3. This one's way short, though. A smart play by Brooks. She drew the defense in, creating the space for Kunek. Araujo looking to back her way down to the basket. Oh, a little head dip. In and out with that one, though. Off Brooks's hand, so it'll be a fresh 14 for the Spanish team. Another change for Sopron as Chukor comes into the action. Kunek takes her first rest on the bench. Sykes now continuing to receive the attention from the passionate crowd here. Back at the top, Brittany Sykes steps in for the 3 and nails it. Think her foot was over the line though, think it'll just be a 2. Sykes with the point to prove. That is clear. Already 6 points on the board for Sykes. Look at that. Little step in, step back. Creates that separation with Mubega. Gets the shot away before the shot clock expires. That is a smart, smart play. Achari comes into the game, as does Labuskine for Girona. Their lead is out to 3 now. Tolo and Arojo, the two players making way for Girona. Fegvanecki called for the offensive foul. Yeah, the illegal screen for sure. Good call by the officials. Mubega will go out for Sopron as Stankovic comes in. Sykes baseline, can't quite creep it over the front of the iron, but Brittany Sykes heading to the free throw line. Turner called for the foul. Quick first step, and it's Turner's really on her back the whole time from that first step. Burundi now will come in for Sopron as Sykes will go to the free throw line. 75% prior to today's game from the free throw line, Brittany Sykes. Had a huge game last week, 24 points, 8 rebounds and 5 assists. Certainly intending to maybe surpass that here today. 8 points already, 3 from 4 from the field for her. Girona's lead now at 5. Under 3 to play in the first quarter. Brooks will draw the foul off Labuskine, and this is what Coach Gaspar has with a player like Jelena Brooks. You just know when the game's slightly swinging the wrong way or things are a little bit tough, she has the smarts, she has the basketball IQ to just take the game herself a little bit and be a little bit more direct with the way she plays. First of her 2 free throws are good. Shooting 78% from the free throw line this season, Jelena Brooks. And the second is good. Girona will make another change. This time Parra comes into the game. Sometimes you forget with Faustine Parra. She's just 22 years of age. Plays pretty smart basketball. That will be, though, off the hand of Achari. Will be Sopron possession. Achari still claiming it. Looks like Coach Canute is going to ask for it to be reviewed. So the officials will go and have a look at the review on this one. Those who haven't seen a game in recent weeks, a relatively new introduction. Those games that have a review system available for referees to use will now also open up to the Coach's Challenge. And what the Coach's Challenge is, every game each coach has one challenge that they're allowed to use. The only things they're allowed to challenge are things like this, possession. Anything that the officials can review as well is basically what they are allowed to challenge. And right now, Coach Canute is saying that it came off Brooks and not Achari. They're asking for possession. Let's have a look. I'd say it's off Achari. I'd say the officials are staying where they are. Yep. Coaches only have one challenge a game. Whether they're right or wrong in their challenge. That challenge is now burnt up by Coach Canute. Sopron and Coach Gaspar will still have his challenge to use. Interesting change and introduction to the game. Haven't seen it being too scandalous as of yet, or too dramatic, the challenge. Into the corner. That one's a little heavy from Burundi. And after what looked like a pretty calm start to the game for Sopron, they now seem to be feeling the pressure a little bit. Achari hands it off There's the double team. Shot clock's running down. They're not going to get the shot away, and that will be a turnover. And this is where Sopron build. This is how they gain momentum in a game. This is how they wrestle control of games of other teams, all from the defensive end. That defensive effort brings the crowd back into the game, realigns them almost. And that's how they fight their way back into games. They only trail by 3 here. Almost lost by Brooks. Falls kindly to Fegvinecki. She's in the low post, Brooks now. Good defense by Achari. Under 90 seconds now left in the first quarter. Labuskine will come back out to Sykes. They'll run the pick and roll at the top. Sykes has got the mismatch she wants against Stankovic, and she'll get the roll. Sykes, the first player to double digits. And she's done it in the first quarter. Fegvinecki will come back out. Skips it now to Brooks. Brooks drives inside against Achari. Rebound battle is going to be won by Murphy. Girona now. A chance to extend their 5-point lead further. Pick and roll. Offensive foul is going to be called on Labuskine, and she says to a teammate, just wait, give me a chance to set the screen before you blast past. That's often the case. Player on ball is sometimes a little bit too keen, too enthusiastic to try and use the screen. Before the screener is set, Sykes heads to the bench for the first time tonight. Back into the game comes Flores. Tough pass for Stankovic to hold on to. She spills possession back to Girona. Final 30 seconds of the first quarter. About a 7-second differential between the first quarter clock and the shot clock. Flores now. Back to Murphy. Patience here from Girona. Their shot clock is down to 7 though. Stolen away. Unsportsmanlike foul will be called on Murphy as well. Brooks is doing absolutely everything for Sopron. Any positivity for Sopron right now is coming through the effort that Jelena Brooks is putting into it. Unsportsmanlike foul called on Murphy. That will send Brooks to the line for 2 shots, and Sopron will take what should be the final possession of this first quarter. This is the first of her 2 though. And the second. Rare to see Brooks miss both from the line. Left hand is heavily strapped tonight though. That may have an impact as we see Tolo back into the game as Labuskine heads to the bench. 13 seconds now for Sopron to create. Fegvinecki inside, Stankovic, there's the 2. Straightforward, simple, easy basketball for Sopron. Are they going to get it away? They're not. That will be the end of the first quarter here in Hungary. An interesting first 10 minutes of basketball. 10 minutes are in the books, and it's Sopron 14, Girona 17. Here are some of the stats from that first quarter of action. Neither team leaning too heavily on the three-pointer. Sopron 2 though out of 4. They'll be happy with that start. Sykes leading all scorers. She has 10 points already. Jelena Brooks on the other side of the floor for Sopron. The veteran has 7. No other player anywhere near them at the moment. They are the 2 superstars taking this game on. Interesting to see how that plays out in the next 3 quarters. Here are some of the highlight plays from that first half of action. There's the steal from McBeggar. This was the first score of the game. Sopron took the early lead. A relatively slow start to the game, but then it came alive, particularly in the hands of Jelena Brooks. She ended up with 7 points at the end of the first quarter. And the steal as well, and the unsportsmanlike. She was doing it pretty much all over the floor in the first quarter, Jelena Brooks. Certainly one of the main reasons why Sopron only trail by 3 at this stage. Here's one of the triples that she put up. That is what Brooks brings you. Versatility on both ends of the floor. There's the other 3 from Sopron, from the hands of Kunek. They were 2 from 4 from outside in the first quarter. As we see a tough move here from Arojo, stepping through and going soft with the right hand. The gods are smiling down on Girona right now. And basketball gods gracing them with the 2 points there. Second quarter action underway here in Hungary. This is game day 11 of the EuroLeague Women regular season. 10 minutes already chalked up. Sopron trail by 3 to Girona. Para now trying to look for Tolo. She can't. She tries to create space for her own shot. That one's knocked out by Murphy, so it will turn over to Sopron. Turner now brings it up over the half. Sopron looking to try and find a little bit of composure, take a little bit more control over the way the game's being played. That's come off Fegvaneki's foot. Yeah, that'll be Girona ball on the baseline. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's the right call. That's good defense from behind by Para. Just reaching in, knocking it away. She'll head to the bench though, as Sykes comes back in. Leading all scorers, Brittany Sykes. Tolo rejected by McBegor. Let's have a look at this one again. Oh, McBegor just stays with it. Yeah, the wingspan of McBegor just bats it back. Officials want to talk this one over. It was a tied ball, so the possession arrow pointed in favour of Sopron. The officials are going to go to review. Not quite sure what they want to review. Chance for the players, though, to just get a little bit of additional instruction. You see Brittany Sykes there speaking to Coach Canute. What a start to the game for Sykes, 10 points. Having a look at the replay. I'm not sure if it's a clock situation they wanted to look at when the whistle was blown on the tie-up. There's the move from Tolo. It's worked so many times, but McBegor stayed with it. Yeah, it was just a clarification on the clock. Baseline ball for Sopron on that tied possession. Girona still hold on to that 3-point lead. Minute gone in this second quarter. Fegvanecki. Into the corner now to Turner. Sopron slowing things down a little. There's the mismatch they were looking for. Good quick hands though by Sykes, and that'll be a shot clock violation for Sopron. As I said, both these teams known for their defense. That showed in the first quarter. We're on track for around about a 60-point game for both of them. Murphy now to Tolo. Back out to Flores. There's the pick and roll, and good hands by McBegor. Shot clock down to 9. Tolo looking to go to work against McBegor. Goes to the running hook shot. Oh my goodness! Old school is the best school. Mariana Tolo on that running hook shot. That is a tough, tough shot. Very rarely see it in the modern game. Fegvinecki, elbow jumper. Oh, nothing but the bottom of the net for Fegvinecki. Her first points of the game. Sykes, 3-ball, just grazes the iron and away. Mugbego can't secure the defensive rebound. She can only knock it out of bounds. Baseline ball for Girona. Sykes now brings it back out. They'll run the pick and roll again. On the screen, the screener action as well, giving Tolo the space, but Mugbego once again bats it away. There's the defense. Mariana Tolo saying she's reaching over the back of her. That looks just straightforward. Phenomenal defense to me. Didn't look like a foul. Murphy puts it up, gets the iron, but a little short. Was under pressure from the shot clock though. Two apiece so far in this second quarter. 2.5 minutes gone. Varga hands it to Kunek. Long two. Long rebound batted to Fegvinecki. Good work there by Varga. Knew she couldn't secure the rebound, but did enough to make sure her teammate could. Fegvinecki, free throw line. No good this time. She'll get her own rebound though. Fegvinecki, one of those players that does a little bit of everything. Averaging just shy of 2 rebounds and 3 assists a game. Foul's going to be called on Sykes. And she rips the ball away from Turner. Second personal foul on Brittany Sykes. And Turner will head to the free throw line. Not the player you want to send to the free throw line. 95%. Prior to today's game, Yvonne Turner. If that doesn't make you near automatic, I don't know what does. As I say that, she misses the free throw. 2 changes for Girona as well on that, as Arojo and Dramer come in. Achari and Flores head to the bench. She does hit the second though. As Girona's lead is trimmed to just 2. Sykes extends it back out to 4. Sykes looking like she was in second gear there, really. Not having to put too much into finding a way around the outside and along the baseline for the easy score. Girona's lead up to 4. Turner stops at the free throw line. There's the mismatch, and Sykes can't do anything. She's on 2 fouls. Don't want to pick up a third. Has to just really gift Mugbego the score. There's some of the replays. Tough defense from Mugbego. There's the running hook shot, though, from Tolo that she got to go, but coming out of that Girona huddle, pretty cool, calm and collected, as you'd expect from Coach Canute. Interestingly, it doesn't look like Rebecca Gardner will play a part tonight. Still has her tracksuit bottoms on. She's listed as available to play. She's on the score sheet but doesn't look like she's ready to play. Sykes drives inside, another easy 2. She springs herself back to her feet. 14 points now for Brittany Sykes. You have a feeling a little bit of a chip on her shoulder, a point to prove here in Hungary. Oh, and Turner can't return it the other end. It doesn't get much easier than that at this level. Maybe too easy for Turner, expecting a little bit more resistance from the Girona defense. Murphy hits the jumper from the free throw line. Girona's lead out to a game-high 6 now. A little over 5.5 minutes left here in the first half. Turner looking for some space. They run the pick and roll, but Girona don't half clog the paint. They close the lane down when the pick and roll comes through. Varga, long 2, nails it. That is what you need from your bench players, just to come on the floor and keep things going. Just 21 years of age, Elise Varga. Travelling violation is going to be called on Araujo. As Sopron bring in Jelena Brooks back into the action. Leading scorer for Sopron. Had 7 in that first quarter. 2 from 5 from the field. She played the entire first quarter and has sat for the first 5 minutes of this second quarter. Turner now. Just blast past Dramer. Trying to find Brooks, but Turner looked like she'd have been better off just exploding to the basket rather than handing the ball away. Baseline ball for Sopron. 13 on the shot clock. Fegvanecki. Baseline was there, didn't take it though. Drives inside, kicks it. McBeggar long 2, shot clock expiring. Kunek can only bat the offensive rebound out of bounds. Girona ball on the baseline. Sykes, strong move, nothing there. Oh, that's a tough fall for Maria Araujo. She's made a tough stuff though. As Brooks holds her face as well. Araujo will get back to her feet. Oh yeah, Brooks just taking a bit of a flailing elbow from Sykes. No intention there, no malice. Sykes just comes down on top of Brooks. That's when you think, should I be wearing a gum shield? McBeggar now at the top. 4-point lead for the Spanish team over Sopron. Fegvanecki. She'll do that time and time again. That is smooth from Zofia Fegvanecki. Second bucket of the game for her as Sykes puts up a long 2. Too much space really given by Sopron to Sykes. Brooks with the rebound. Her first of the game. Foul's going to be called on Araujo. Third team foul of the quarter on Girona. Sopron yet to commit a foul in this quarter. Fegvanecki for 3. Off left. Easy rebound for Sykes, uncontested. Araujo. Girona facing a 2-3 zone from Sopron now. And straight away, Dramer turns it over. She's had a tough start to the game so far. Not had many opportunities offensively. Made a couple of mistakes. Sopron within 2. A chance to tie or even take the lead with this possession. Their first lead of the second quarter. Brooks now pulls up. Almost looked like a travel. Gets the shot away against Araujo. Foul will be called on Jelena Brooks. Those two going toe-to-toe right now. Two absolute warriors. As we see Tolo come out of the game and Labuskine come back in for Girona. Tolo just not been the force that Coach Canute wanted her to be so far. Don't ride her off though. Just needs a phase of the game where she comes into her own, and that could be a game changer for Girona. Sopron now dropping back into a match-up defense. Shot clock down to 4. Sykes, long 2. That one's an air ball from Brittany Sykes, and what was a hot hand in the first quarter is certainly called off here in the second. Para will come back into the action for Girona. Out of the game goes Murphy for Girona. Burundi now feeds the low post to McBegor, and Labuscane's caught reaching in. She's claiming there's an illegal screen that was struggling to get past. But yeah, just a little bit too eager. She doesn't have a size mismatch. Should have been better just playing that straight post defense rather than trying to cheat a little and reach over the top. Fegvanecki. Good quick ball movement. Brooks is open for 3. Girona's defense though rotates so well, so fluid. Chasing and helping. A real unit is how they play their defense. They don't play it individually. Sykes, triple team comes over, draws the foul. Burundi, McBegor, 2 of the 3, trying to jump on top of Brittany Sykes. As we see Stankovic come back onto the floor for Sopron, as does Chukor. Out of the game goes Kunek and McBegor. Sykes hits the first of her 2 this trip. Takes a tally to 15. Girona's lead back out to 3. Make that 4. Sopron really would love to take a lead into the half-time locker room. Under 2 minutes to go, though, to the half-time break. Burundi back to Fegvanecki. Stankovic now, just trying to bully away to the basket. Good use of the footwork and the pivot, but the defense from Labuscane is there, but not the second time. Stankovic just tenacious offensively. Doesn't give up on the play. Isn't downhearted when her great moves don't work. Just keeps playing away. Gets the score in the end. Girona's lead trimmed to just 2 points. Coach Canute will call a timeout. 1:36 left on the first half clock. Let's head to his huddle, hear what he has to say.
As times as we can, okay? If we run, let's try to pass balls to Irati and Maria here. To play the head off with her, okay? Or in this baseline, pass, cut, relocation, movement. If we play in a static with both foot, we are playing situation of vueltas, okay? Vueltas. Double exit for Faustin, okay, or Vinta, ¿vale? We play weak side, pick and roll, Maria Irati, okay? Yeah, pick and roll, if the ball goes to the top, the second one, Maria stay here, Irati will play the pick and pop to the elbow, ¿queda claro? To shut in front of Stankovic. So, we play the exit to side of Irati, the first pick and roll will be Maria, the second one will be on the top, Irati, okay? Let's go! Let's go!
Coach Canute just trying to make some slight adjustments offensively for his team. As we see a replay of Stankovic just staying with the play. Misses that first move, but just keeps rebounding, keeps hustling, and eventually gets rewarded with the 2 points. Para now waits for the screen. Goes a little bit early, to be honest. A little bit more patience from Girona for those screens is going to pay off. Para drives inside, tries to throw the lob pass to Ichari. She's left stuck under the basket, and Stankovic blocks her shot. Brooks now drives in, stolen away. Para leading the 3-on-2 break. Sykes missing the layup. Great defense from Fegvanecki. Girona will go again. Let's see what's the call from the officials. Certainly clipped the basket. Resets back to 13. I'm not sure if one of the officials thought it didn't hit the rim. It certainly did. 53 seconds left in this first half. The officials now just having a quick discussion. It will remain Girona basketball. Shot clock will reset to 14 as they look to go again. In fact, it's back out to 19. Sykes now receives the inbound pass, going up against Burundi. She's going to use a screen now. She waves it away. She's content she can bring it on herself. Para 3, corner, nails it! French guard really coming to play right now. First points of the game, but she's been influential throughout. Girona's lead out to 5. Just over 30 seconds of the first half remaining. Sopron not having it all their own way right now. Fegvanecki uses the Brooks screen. Brooks has got the mismatch she wants. Are they going to go to her? They're trying to, but Stankovic has it stolen away. Girona will slow it down. One thing's for sure, Girona will go to the locker room at the half with a lead. How big will that lead be? It's 5 at the moment. Sykes, 5 seconds to work with. To Para. Long 3! Back-to-back triples for Para. What a way to close out the first half, and what trust from Brittany Sykes to kick it to the corner to the 22-year-old who pays off that trust by hitting the 3. A great first half here for Girona. At the half, it's Sopron 25, Girona 33. Here are some of the stats from that first half of action, and what a first half we've had. Low scoring as we expected, but very technically and tactically savvy, both of these teams. Brittany Sykes has been on a different plane so far. She's at 16 points against her former employers. Jelena Brooks, she's at 7. She had 7 at the end of the first quarter. Kept scoreless in that second quarter. But they are the two big contributors offensively. Para had no points with a minute to go in that first half, then hit back-to-back triples. She is the third highest scorer in the game with 6 right now. Here are some of the highlights from that first half of action. We expected it to be a very fundamentally, defensively focused game, and that's what we've had. That was the first score of the game from McBegor. And Girona have looked good, really, throughout the entire game. Sopron had a lead halfway through the first quarter, but since then it has been pretty much Girona controlling the game. At the half, they now hold a game-high 8-point lead. And much respect has to go to Brittany Sykes, a previous Sopron player earlier in the season. The crowd have been after her all game, but she has 16 points, 6 from 11 from the field. She's been on the floor 18 and a half minutes, though. That's the most of any player here today. So can she keep that going for the entire second half as well? No one else on the Girona team really lighting things up. Mariana Tolo, the only other player with... Para and Tolo, the only other players with more than 1 field goal. Para, 2 from 3 from downtown for her 6 points, and Tolo, 2 from 4 from deep within the paint, including a really cute little running hook shot. As for Sopron, Jelena Brooks leads the way with 7. Fegvanecki, Stankovic and McBegor all have 4 points in that first half. McBegor also 3 rebounds to her name as well. But a very interesting first half of action we've had here in Hungary. And at the half, it's Sopron 25 and our visitors, surprisingly, Girona 33. Second half of action just around the corner. Make sure you don't go anywhere. Stay tuned because this one could go all the way to the wire. League Women regular season, and what a game we've had so far. Half-time here, a Sopron take on Girona, and at the half it's the visitors that have had the better of the going. It's Sopron 25, Girona 33. Coach Gaspar there, plenty to do in the half-time locker room. His team just haven't looked at the level they have earlier on in this season. Remember, Girona won the reverse of this fixture earlier in the season. That game they won by just 3 points on their own floor. Can they do the double over Sopron here today? That would be a huge credit to them if they were able. The second quarter, they're going to need to increase their rate of scoring if they want to come away with a win here today. At the moment, it's playing into the hands of Girona. They need it to be a slower game, a lower scoring, defensively focused game. Coach Gaspar will want an early reaction from his team. Let's see how they come out here in the second half. Second half action underway. Game day 11 at the half here. It's Sopron that trail by 8 to Girona. 25-33 is the score. Slightly maybe against the expectations. Tolo turns the corner and gets the score. Draws the foul on Stankovic. That is exactly the start that Girona will have wanted. Stankovic just looking to try and get in the passing lane, over-committing, and Tolo just really taking it to school on that quick move to the basket. Tolo gets the score. 7 points now for Mariana Tolo. 22 as a season high against Lens. That was 3 games ago, though. Fegvanecki drives the baseline, door closed off by Murphy. Stankovic now trying to return the favour against Tolo. Tolo stays with it though, but the rebound pulled in. That is a tough play from Chuko. And that is exactly what Coach Gaspar needs. He needs those role players to come into the game and make a difference. First points of the game for Chuko. Rebound for Fegvanecki. Chuko, back-to-back scores for the 23-year-old. Sykes now, yet to score in the second half, drives inside. Doesn't get it. Dramer is blocked by Chuko, but she can only bat it back to Girona. Dramer now drives in. Chuko steals it away. What an opening minute and a half for her. And passes it to Brooks. And one, Yelena Brooks. And just like that, Sopron have come to life. They're back within 5, and it's all from the unlikely play of Dormachuko. 2 scores in back-to-back possessions. The steal, the assist, and Brooks with the score and the 3-point play opportunity. And Brooks hits the free throw. Girona's lead now just 4 points. Sykes looking to go coast to coast. Almost throws it away. Foul's going to be called on Stankovic. Stankovic a little bit overeager defensively again. Thought she could get hold of it. That's always going to be difficult against someone the stature of Tolo. Holds herself well in the low post. Sykes now looks to go long to Murphy. Steps back, long 2, comes up short. Ultimately pulled down by Sykes. Shot clock at 8. Sykes just pushes her away. Offensive foul. That's a great stand by Yvonne Turner. Let's have a look at the stand here. Yeah, just gets her footwork right. Angles herself perfectly. She knows where Brittany Sykes is looking to attack. Just places herself in the way. 2 team fouls now for both teams. Early foul trouble for both, really. Just over 2 minutes gone in this quarter. Now low. Brooks fades away and gets the score. And Girona's lead, within the blink of an eye, has been hacked back to just 2 points. A 9-3 start to the second half for Sopron. Stolen away by Brooks. Chance to tie the game. Turner to Brooks inside. Left hand, no good. Stankovic with the rebound. She took too long. Tolo recovers and applies enough pressure for Stankovic to miss. Sykes, long 2, that one's short. Falls easily for Stankovic's 3rd rebound of the game. Turner to Brooks. Brooks comes up short, and Sopron several opportunities to tie the game, and they still can't. What a frenetic start to this second half. Both these teams know the importance of this game. After tonight, just 3 games left in the regular season. Araujo steps back and just nails the long jumper. Not where she usually gets her points from. Has to step up as the shot clock was close to expiring. Brooks backdoor Turner. Can't get the score, and Yvonne Turner does great jobs in getting into the right positions, but her finishing has let her down a little today. Sykes barrels away to the basket. Much more rudimental basketball now. Turner out in the races, gets the score. Coast to coast, really blasts out in transition. Once again, Girona's lead pulled to 2. And Coach Canute wants to talk it over. He knows his team, this style of play isn't going to play to their favour. Let's head to his huddle, hear what he has to say. Important phase of the game now for Girona. How do they respond? Sopron clearly responded well at that half-time break. An 11-5 start to this second half. How do Girona bounce back from this now? What do they have? How can they re-establish a little bit of control over the pace of this game? Because that's been the key. For Sopron, they want to increase the pace, which isn't usual for them. For Girona, they want to carry on playing a slow game. Dramer now finds Tolo in the low post. That one's out to Orojo. Fakes the three, steps in, gets blocked by Brooks. Sopron's defense is good, but look, they're trying to put pace into the game. They want it to be a bit more fragmented. Oh, that is a hell of a pass. What vision to get the pass down to Brooks. Chukor is just stepped up in a big way here in the second half. Sykes to Orojo. Out to Murphy. Oh, that's going to take a few decibels out of the crowd. Corner three, just as Sopron had tied the game. Stolen away, Murphy, back-to-back big plays. She's going to slow it down, though. Girona are going to go again. Orojo for three. Oh, just like that, Girona's lead back out to 6. My goodness me. You could not write a script more dramatic than this right now. Sopron battling hard to tie the game, and then back-to-back threes pushes Girona back out to a 6-point lead. Coach Gaspar with the timeout. Let's hear what he has to say to his team.
Okay. Let's go with this down, as I told you. Defensively, we need to be more disciplined. Okay? Because what you are doing is good. Stay focused and be ready for the ball screens if they run. Okay, good fight over. We keep going with the flat. Okay, let's go with this down. Come on. Get out of.
Coach Gaspar calling for some defensive discipline from his team. Giving up back-to-back threes. Understandable. There's a zip pass from Chukor down into the low post to Brooks. How does Sopron react now? Having it all their own way for the start of this second half, and just like that, Girona spin things around, and in back-to-back threes open up their 6-point lead again. Chukor, too heavy. Rebound pulled down by Sykes, her third board of the game, alongside 16 points and 3 assists. Had a tougher second half though, Sykes. Just 6 from 14 from the field now. Orojo being bullied by Brooks. Officials call the foul though. Third team foul of the quarter for Sopron, so neither team in the penalty right now. Orojo wide open for 3. That's short. Chukor with the rebound. Fegvanecki has the door closed on her by Sykes. It's almost stolen away. Sopron hold on to it though. Shot clock down to 7. Burundi has to scoop it high off the glass. Brooks with the offensive rebound, and Sopron will go again. Creating extra possessions for themselves here, Sopron. Stankovic is going to get called for the travelling violation. She's getting more and more frustrated with the officials. There's the hustle on the hardwood. Eventually falls to Fegvanecki, who finds Stankovic. As Labuskine comes back in. Tolo goes out. Sopron will make the double change as Varga and Mugbegor come back in. Going to the benches, Brooks and Stankovic. 6-point lead for Girona. And what a seesaw third quarter we've had so far. Murphy. All the way to the strong side to Sykes. Pick and roll, Labuskine, short corner jumper is no good. Orojo, though, with the offensive rebound. Foul's going to be called on Chukor. And Orojo just identified that she had a little bit of a mismatch. Went to use that to her favour. Sykes doesn't take the three at the first chance. She does the second. But the defense does just enough to put her off. McBegor now. Offensive foul is going to be called. That one on Chakor. Moving screen as Sykes is still on the floor, not 100% comfortable. Back to her feet now, though, as Para comes into the game for Murphy. Girona just moving to a slightly smaller rotation now. Para hands it back to Flores. A little over 3 minutes left in this third quarter. Labuskine back to Para. There's the pick and roll. Oh, Rojo change of direction. Nice pass inside. Labuskine has it batted away by McBegor. And McBegor is the rim protector for Sopron here today. What a job she's doing. Third block of the game for her. And another. That one's out of bounds by Flores. My goodness me. Block number 4 for McBegor. She bats it away. Averaging 1.7 blocks a game, the Australian. She really is an absolute asset. Interesting to see what the future holds for her. Just 23 years old right now, Ezzy McBegor. There's the pass inside, and there's the 2. She's doing it at both ends right now. Girona's lead just at 4. Still a relatively low-scoring game, as expected, but a little bit more frenetic here in this third quarter. A little bit more pace to the game. Whether the scoring's increased or not is another matter, but the pace the game's being played at is certainly increasing. Fegvinecki now. Drives inside, lane opens up for her, has to kick it out. Stolen away though by Flores. Sykes change of direction, and the score with the foul. Brittany Sykes. Tough play from her. Foul's been called. She's not happy. Let's have a look. Points have been given. She'll go to the line for the free throws. McBegor called for the foul. Plenty of changes on the floor as well as Achari comes in and Rojo heads to the bench for Girona. Oh my goodness me, you can see why she's frustrated now. She's got a lump coming up above her left eye where she's taking contact. Tell me this is a non-contact sport. Sykes taking the game on her shoulders right now, up to 19 points as Dramer comes in. Stolen away, Achari goes strong and gets the score, big play. Girona's lead now at 9. And Sopron are being tested fully here right now. A little over 90 seconds left in the third quarter. McBegor fades away. Rebound comes off Varga's hand, so it'll be another Girona possession. And the Spanish team are feeling it right now. You can see their confidence. You can see the energy they're approaching the game. And the Sopron players, their body language suggesting they're not sure really how to change things to change the game flow right now. Para almost loses out of bounds. He collects the possession though. Labuskine into the low post. Looks to drive baseline. Foul going to be called on McBegor. McBegor's starting to tire a little, I'd say. If I'm Coach Gaspar, I'm looking to take her out. That's her third personal foul. She's fatigued. And that's why her defense is starting to drop slightly. Bouskene hits the first of her two. Just 58% from the free throw line prior to today's game. Misses the second though. Varga with the rebound. 10-point lead now for Girona. Under a minute to play in the third. Burundi drives inside, draws the foul. Will go to the line for free throws. Tough play by Vivi Burundi. Where's the foul? Tough to see one on that replay. In the background you can see, there you go, what Brittany Sykes is dealing with. She's got a swelling above her left eye, took a shot to the face on the last foul. And like a boxer, her eye is slightly swelling. They're putting ice on it now to try and take that down. I'm sure she'll be back in the game before very long. This is a personal mission for her to pick up the win here in Sopron. The crowd have been on her the whole game. Achari hands it back to Para. Oh, handle from Para. Bouskene nails the long two. Ten-point lead re-established for Girona. Turner, oh, hits a big two. Looked like she'd pulled to that one a little. 8 seconds now for Girona. They lead by 8. Flores tries to lose McBeggar, has to scoop it. That will be the end of the third quarter. My goodness me. Everyone breathe. What an exciting third quarter of action we've had here. Just 10 minutes to play. It's Sopron 44, Girona 52. And after all that back and forth, the third quarter ended up tied. Both teams scoring 19 points. Both teams having their most prolific offensive quarter. And that is slightly breathless here right now. Leading scorer continues to be Brittany Sykes, although she has picked up that knock. She's got 19 points. Jelena Brooks has 14 points for Sopron. It is down to the home team. How do they make a difference in this final quarter? That tells you a lot as well. Second highest scorer for Sopron, McBeggar with just 6 points. For Girona, Tolo with 7. Both teams need some of other players on the floor to lift some of the offensive duties right now. Mascots enjoying themselves. The dancers on the floor enjoying themselves, and the crowd always here in this arena know how to bring it. And I guarantee you they will bring the noise in the final quarter. There's no two ways about that. Coach Canute just taking a little bit longer than Coach Gaspar, as Girona look to try and draw up a plan to hold on to this lead and to secure what would be a huge win on the road for them. Remember, a win today for Girona would bring them to the same record as Sopron. Both teams would move to a 7-4 record. What a tight group we have here in Group B. 5 teams, 6 teams within 2 games of each other, in fact. Fourth quarter action gets started. Sopron inbound the ball. They trail by 8 here on game day 11 in Group B of the EuroLeague Women regular season. McBeggar open long 3, little flat. Where's the rebound? Foul's going to be called instead. That one's going to be on Para, called for pushing Burundi. Baseline ball for Sopron. Turner inbounds it now to Burundi. Turner, long jumper, no good. And at the moment, they're the only options she's got. Girona's defense is really denying a lot of what they want to run. Achari inside. Tolo going hard to get position down low. McBeggar, block number 5 for Etty McBeggar. Unbelievable defensive performance from her. Foul's going to be called on her this time, though. She was just trying to catch up on the play. Mariana Tolo managed to create a little bit of separation. That will be her 4th foul, though. In fact, correction, just her 3rd. Tolo misses the 2nd after making the 1st. Girona's lead can only go out to 9. A little over 9 to play. McBeggar on the roll, gets the score. She's looking for the foul. Didn't look like much contact to me. Stolen away, that's a poor pass by Flores. McBeggar gets it batted away. Tolo returning the favour, gives her a little look down on the floor as well. As you have blocked me enough times tonight, it's about time I return it. As Tolo plows into the camera, tracks the drive beautifully. That's great defense by Mariana Tolo. Sykes back into the game now. Headband on, holding a bandage over the swelling on her head. Brooks trying to draw the offense up. McBeggar's going to be fouled by Flores. 2nd team foul of the quarter for Girona. That's great sporting behavior from Mariana Tolo. They've been going to battle all game and she just helps her opponent to her feet. Brooks now back to Turner. Thrown away by Turner. Passing lanes closed on it rapidly. Girona's defense is doing another good job. Tolo against McBeggar. Has it stolen away though. Good quick hands by Barandi. Turner doesn't take the 3 when it was there. Inside to Brooks. Tolo comes across to help and can only foul Brooks. Yelena Brooks will go to the free throw line. The tempo of the game continues to be quite high here in the 4th quarter. We had quite a slow, methodical, thoughtful game in the first half. Sopron really looked to increase the tempo in the 3rd quarter, and that's really spilled over here into the 4th as we see Fegvanecki come back into the action. Her first taste of 4th quarter action today. Brooks hits the first of her 2, and how big are these free throws going to be? Girona 3 team fouls already. We're not even 2 minutes into this 4th quarter, so Sopron could be making quite a few trips to this free throw line. Brooks gets both to go. 16 points personal for her now. Chari hands it back to Dramer. Girona quite thoughtful, spacing the floor well though, trying to create difficulty in playing team defense. 4 seconds now. The heave. That one hits the iron, but that's good defense by Sopron. You can't call it any other way. Forcing Girona to take what is a very low percentage shot in the business end of the game. They've only got to do that for another 7 minutes, and they might come away with the win. McBeggar throws herself to the floor, but the possession is lost. Sykes steps through, comes back out. Open, Flores. Too heavy though. Kunek with the defensive rebound. Not seen a huge amount of Kunek today. Just 3 points and 1 rebound to her name. Kunek flashes inside against Dramer, gets the score, and just when you say she hasn't turned up, she wakes back up into the game, and Girona's lead just 3 points now. Remember, it was at 11 at one stage. Flores, she's struggled in this fourth quarter so far. Tolo, shot fake, drives inside. Block number 6 for McBegor. Ezzy McBegor having an absolute field day right now. Double the number of blocks she's had in any other game so far this season. Fegvanecki, short, Brooks, rebound, 2 points. Yelena Brooks claiming she was fouled as well. Officials saying no way, but that score brings Sopron within a single point. 6 minutes, 3 seconds left on the game clock. Really no choice for Coach Canute. He calls a timeout. Let's head into the Spanish huddle, hear what he has to say.
This one was good, but pass, cut. Laya, come, okay? Then hand off and screen here. And or here or then swing the ball again, okay? Movement there.
Guys,
We play.
set the screen lower. They're shooting right through it. Like, set it. Be intentional about that screen.
We play. Hey, onside, okay? Onside. Who's in? Shane is in. Pinto, you're in. Hey, we play. Here, Stager for Vinta. Shane in the corner. Onside, okay? We pass the ball, Vinta. Return the ball, okay? We can roll with Tolo. Shane in the corner. Vinta following, okay? What do you have? The one-on-one? For the ball to Hero, let's see if they help. The corner, Shane, onside.
Ezzy McBegor has been the Grim Reaper on the defensive end, batting away absolutely everything. How physical is this game becoming? It is a battle in every sense of the word. There's the last play from Brooks, who brought them back within 1. Sopron in the ascendancy. Can Girona once again quieten the crowd and fight their way back into control of this game? Dramer hands it back to Sykes. There's the pick and roll at the top. Good quick movement. Dramer for 3. Short left. Rebound fight. Knocked out of bounds by Tolo. Baseline ball for Sopron. A chance now for them to take the lead. Their first lead since the first quarter, if they can do it. Kunek. Fegvanecki looking for Brooks. This time. That's a 1-2 punch that has worked time and time again over many, many seasons. Sykes fades, jumper. Tough shot to make that one. Fegvanecki falling out of bounds, can only throw it out of bounds. Baseline ball for Girona. They'll have a fresh 14 to work with, as Labuskine will come in for Tolo. And that is a joy really for Coach Canute, that he can just rotate straight between those two. Quality doesn't drop. The drive doesn't drop. Slightly different style players, but they give him the same level of option on both ends. Sykes to Labuskine, drags it through. Oh, and block number 7 for McBegor. When is she going to stop? Could she get a double-double points and blocks? She's on 8 points at the moment. My Lord, this is an absolute career night for McBegor. Burundi nails the 3, and Sopron are in the lead. Only her first field goal of the game, unbelievably. And what a time to score it. Sykes drives in off the glass. That one's short. Sopron's defense held tight. Out of the races though, Kunek draws the foul. That time on Maria Araujo. Kunek will go to the line for free throws. And the crowd could not be more behind their team right now. That is block number 7 for McBegor. There's the 3 to give Sopron the lead. Kunik hits the first of her 2 from the line. First lead for Sopron since that first quarter. She hits them both, giving Coach Gaspard's team their highest lead of the game. 4 points now, 4 minutes 20 on the clock. Is there anything left in the gas tank for Girona? Can they turn this around again? Sykes at the top. Dropped out of bounds by Para. And this is where the pressure starts to pay the price. Remember, Para just 22 years of age. This is absolute fever pitch right now in the arena. The pressure that comes with that is huge. Offensive foul on McBegor, just pushing a forearm into the face of Labuskine. Yeah, that's the right call by the officials. 4 fouls now on Ezi McBegor, if I'm correct. That could be problematic for Sopron. Labuskine. Murphy is short. Sopron's lead still at 4. What a game this has been. This EuroLeague women's regular season is the gift that keeps on giving. Backdoor cuts. McBegor is fouled. Murphy's going to get called for that one. McBegor will go to the line for shots. It's the blindside pick to open that cut to the basket up. Vision from Brooks. And McBegor at the line for 2 shots. Her first trip of the night, Ezi McBegor. 77% this season, though. So a pretty good free throw shooter. Inevitable she's going to miss the first after I give her that moniker. Girona now clearly in the penalty as well. So Sopron really just have to keep attacking the basket. Drawing fouls that way should be enough to get them the win. And what you have to say, the way this game has gone is almost a surprise win for Sopron. Girona have looked good for large parts of this game. Sykes now. Arojo. Little shuffle fake. Comes up short though. Labuskine trying to fight for it. Where's that one going to go? It'll be a turnover and Sopron will take possession. As we see Flores come back into the game for Girona. Labuskine goes to the bench, as does Para. Tolo back in as well alongside Flores. Borundi waits for the screen, doesn't wait long enough. Shot clock down to 9. Fegvinecki pulls up, long 2 is a great joy to watch from Fegvinecki. Tally up the time she's done that in her career. Hundreds if not thousands of times. Look at the frustration on the Girona bench. Brittany Sykes wanted this one and it's slowly drifting away from Girona. They trail by 7, 2:37 to play. Timeout called by Coach Canute. Let's head into his huddle.
Shane, you are here, okay? Brit, you get the ball, okay? Todo, let's play a beat, okay? We have Maria here and Laia here, okay? Shane, you go here. Brit, come to the left, attack to the right. Shane will play the Spanish, okay? Or 3-point shoot or bowling, okay? The second one, we go for a regular 5, okay? No, we go for a 55, Brit. I want Laia going to the screen. 55, go to Todo, Laia screening me have that three, okay? So, va.
Let's go. Un, dos, tres. Aquí.
Sopron now firmly in the driving seat of this game. I'm sure at the other end of the floor, Coach Gaspar will be talking about a little time management, game management. And the shoe is now on the other foot. It's for Girona to try and disrupt this game. Momentum is clearly in favour of Sopron right now. Girona have only scored 1 point in this fourth quarter. 16 points for Sopron. Unbelievable, really. Oh, they're big time to hit the jumper, though. Murphy steps out of the timeout, steps onto the floor, nails the three. The first field goal of the quarter for Girona. Kunek being harassed by Murphy. Drives over the screen, though. Stolen away. Sykes comes up with it. Foul's going to be called on Kunek. Sopron nowhere near the penalty right now. Blocking foul called. Sopron's lead at 4. Exactly 2 minutes left on the game clock. Girona with the fresh 24 to work with. Sykes now inside to Tolo. Tolo comes back out. They'll go again. Big and little game. Tolo really trying to force the matter. Burundi knocks it out of bounds, so it'll remain Girona ball. They'll have 10 seconds on the shot clock to work with. Ball inbounded to Tolo. Almost stolen away. Sykes inside. No good. Rebound ripped down by Kunek. Roars as she passes it away. She knows that's a big play. Stolen away though. Sykes. 1-on-1. Fegvanecki. Can't get the score. Does get the offensive rebound and will draw the foul from Brooks. Not in the penalty though. So it'll just be an out-of-bounds possession for Girona. There's the steal. There's the drive. Good defense by Fegvanecki. Brooks a little over-exuberant as she tries to help back and knocks Sykes to the floor. 1:27 to play. A 4-point lead for Sopron. Tolo draws the foul from McBegor. That's her out of the game. Foul number 5 on Ezi McBegor. 9 points, 7 rebounds, and hear me right, 7 blocks for Ezi McBegor. What a stat line for her today. Stankovic will take her place for the final 1 minute and 24. Oh, Tolo. Heartbreak at the free throw line. Misses the first. 79% prior to today's game, Tolo. She's now 3 from 5 from the free throw line. 3-point lead for Sopron. Turner slowing things down. Stankovic is going to hand it to Fegvanecki. Shot clock down to 7. Fegvanecki inside, long 2! What a play! Zofia Fegvanecki continues to step up in the clutch for Sopron. Tolo draws the foul. Will go back to the free throw line. Sopron's lead is 5. Timeout has been called here in the arena. Sopron 62, Girona 57. Coach Gaspar just wants to make sure they close this game out. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Rebounding important. Okay, first thing. If they miss, good backs out. After that, they stay impressed. So make sure they are setting it up correctly. Okay, Monique, Jofi, you are here. Okay, and after, get it back. Don't forget the pass back version. And we are bringing up the ball. And don't forget that after receiving the ball, Yetza, and this can be open. If the pass coming back, you bring it up. And what we are running there, simple offense, okay? We run fast.
Great coaching by David Gaspar. Calm as you like. The pressure is there. 52 seconds, just a 5-point lead. The other team are at the free throw line, but he just keeps it simple. Run a simple offense. This is how we're going to progress the ball over the half. Back to basics for Sopron as they try and seal out the win. Tholo hits the first of her two. That's a big make. She scores here. It'll be back within a single possession. She doesn't. Where's the rebound going, though? Turner dives back in and collects the defensive rebound. Fegvanecki will slow it down. Sopron will look to use as much of the clock as they can. Brooks now to Turner. Shot clock to 6. 4-point lead for Sopron. Turner has it batted away. 0.8 seconds on the shot clock. There's the rejection by Murphy. Baseline ball for Sopron. Catch, shoot, Turner, short, grabs her own rebound. My goodness me, that's huge. About an 11-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Girona need 2 possessions, though. They can't win it with 1. Fegvanecki inside, scoop, no good. Rebound picked up by Girona. Sykes for 3. Draws the foul from Fegvanecki. Oh my goodness. Not the kind of defensive play you expect from someone of such experience as Zofia Fegvanecki. 3 seconds on the game clock. Sykes will go to the line for 3 free throws. She can make all 3. They're back to within a single point. To be honest, she'll probably look to hit the first 2 and miss the last one. A chance to push this game into overtime. Misses that one. The game is still a 1-possession game. All it means is they've got to come out to the 3. She's looking to her coach. Should she miss or should she make? She's surely got to miss. She hits it though. Inbounded. Time's running out. They're not going to get the foul in time. And that will be the end of the game. A hard-fought win for Sopron here on their home floor. Girona pushed them all the way in this one. Phenomenal from Girona. Truly a phenomenal performance from Sopron to battle their way back into this one. Bear in mind, Sopron take the 2-point lead. Final score, Sopron 62, Girona 60. Phenomenal performance from the visitors, but it wasn't enough. Sopron come away with a 2-point lead. Girona do hold the head-to-head, though, in this game, having secured a 3-point win in the reverse of this fixture. What a game we have had here in Hungary. I hope you've enjoyed it just as much as I have. Plenty more EuroLeague women's action coming up, not just today, but across the next few weeks. Make sure you stay tuned for all the action. The final score here in Hungary is Sopron 62, Girona 60.
Murphy.